This audience member wanted to ask Claudia Black about her reaction to a collective phone call which had been made by Ben Browder during the Comic-Con panel in 2003, but he gets off to a really bad start.
Last year, I called you while I was doing this
call. See, I thought you didn't call. I waited and I cried. And I called Ben and I said he never called. Say that again?
We're back on their website.
You were gonna, I waited for that? That's what you were going to tell me on the phone call?
It's Ben's phone. I borrowed Ben's phone. Well, everybody borrowed Ben's phone. Last year.
Oh, that is the best thing ever, and I've still got it on my message machine. Thank you to everyone. It's the best. I played it with my friends, I played it with my mum. It's just great, so thank you very much.
This question was directed at Claudia Black. Will we get to see Erin Pound-Grazer for what she did to John on a Nask?
I've been wondering about what happened with Crichton and all his little, rendezvous with women on different planets. While Erin was lying there with a broken leg or dying and needing surgery or,
You can't answer that question.
I can't answer that question, but it's a great one.
Wait, we can answer it a little bit. We can say, you might not be disappointed.
Well, I had a comment for Claudia and a question for Ben. Claudia, looking forward to seeing you on SG1. They were talking about you.
Oh, were they?
Yes, Michael Shanks was talking about you, nothing but good things to say. And my second...
He's a good actor then.
It would be great if actually I had the chance to write for this woman again. They should speak very highly of her at Stargate about her. I actually spoke with Shanks last night and I went, she's good, isn't she? She's good. And he went, oh yeah, she's amazing.
I was committing a mortal sin when I had to go on and work with another male actor. I rang Ben from Canada and said, I'm really, really sorry, but I've got another leading man for 3 days. I'm so sorry.
I talked to the Stargate people and they said, well, maybe you ought to come up and do something. You could play Shanks' evil twin. I said, no, you got to make it worth my while. If I'm coming up there, then I basically got to be kicking his ass for 3 whole episodes.
Yeah, which is pretty much what I did. Thank you.
Quick things. First, will ever be a blooper release on the American version of the DVDs? And then a question for Ben and Claudia. Do you ever worry about being typecast as John and Erin? Can you ever get tired of playing a character, or if it's written, that's not a problem? Written well.
I never got tired of playing John Crichton. It's the longest I've ever played any part of my life, and up to the very last day of shooting, there was no way to get tired of playing that character or playing with the people that I was playing with.
In a professional context. And in terms of being typecast, it depends on the people that you're playing with. No, it's really rare. There is only once in a lifetime a character will come up, and if it falls into your hands as an actor, it's a blessing. And Erin, from the minute I read what was the pilot, and it was Space Chase, I knew that she was the coolest thing in town. So nothing really will come close to her. Typecast as what? I don't know. I can't really get typecast as Erin ever again because she's one in a trillion. So. Playing tough chicks in space who don't seem very happy, that potentially could be a bit of a problem. Beating people up all the time, maybe something Buddhist or,
Rigel's going to have a pisser of a career outside of FarScape.
Isn't he doing Richard III in the West End?
He was too expensive.
FarScape was always difficult. Say that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a question for you before you go. You were at the 1999 Comic-Con when I first appeared with David, is that right? I have something for you. Are you allowed to come down to the stage?
How many people were here? Rock, Claudia, and I were here in '99. How many people? All right, just open your minds and remember.
At the end, I think we'd run out of things to talk about, which surprises the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I referred to, I think, my first ever online chat, where someone asked me the question, do you have any pets? And I said no, and the answer came back, do you want one? And my answer was, well, it depends what you look like in a dog collar. So I brought this to the 1999 Comic-Con. David put it on me, and if you'd like the memento.
This question was directed at Claudia Black. What is the most important experience you made on FarScape?
What I will take with me from FarScape is the fact that, and I think it comes from David and a lot of the people who created the show from the beginning. It was about, Brian wanted to make a show that was an excellent showcase and an opportunity for the world to see what the Henson Company can do with their makeups and their creatures. David would come up with these ideas that to most production managers in Australia seemed insane. And they
were insane!
But...
Oh wait, I got a really great idea. No, you can do this.
We were working in an environment where imagination was required. It was encouraged, and it became an incredibly collaborative environment. What I will take is just, when people would say, David, we can't do this, he would say, why not? And if it's not about money, if it's about creatively finding ways to spend your money, to make it happen, to tell the story, to do something that hasn't been done before. As Ben said, we knew we were making it for an intelligent audience, and to constantly try and surprise you guys on a weekly basis, that's tough. And so it really pushed me to limits I didn't, to cross boundaries I didn't know were there in the first place as an actor. So I've learned so much.
We were very concerned with security. You guys probably don't know this, we have obsessive fans. And if our fans... Well, first of all, let's just say that Claudia's car got broken into before we shot, and her purse was stolen. What was in the purse, Claudia?
The miniseries scripts. Also, by the way, my car wasn't just broken into and a bag was stolen. I was sitting in the car driving it at the time when someone opened the door and took the bags. So, yeah, I tell it a little bit more dramatically. I say I got carjacked, and then people go, oh my God, you got pulled out of the car. And I say, no, but they took stuff on the car. I was singing along to my favourite song at the time. The worst street corner in Sydney, and just suddenly heard the car door open, and
this guy didn't look like Michael Shanks, did he?
I heard. And I wasn't worried. I was moving apartments because I'd been staying in a friend's place, and I didn't know when I came to Sydney that I was going to be doing the miniseries. I thought I was just going there for a trip for a couple of months. So we were moving apartments at the end of, I think, like a 60 or 80 hour week just before Christmas. And the only thing I was worried about, the car was full of things, my jewelry, all this stuff, and the only thing I was nervous about was the script. And I'd seen this episode of, it's funny how things sort of come out of you when you're tested, and I'd seen an episode of Oprah one day, I think in the trailer, where they were talking about self-defense for women. And Oprah said, oh, I've heard that what you have to do is get your voice down really, really low and primal and sort of go, no. And people have always told me that I'm quintessentially evil, that I'm the devil, and it was sort of case in point, because when the car door opens and I realise that this person's taking the script, I went, oh, I can't say it's a rude word. Okay, I went, no, throw off. And the poor guy just went, ran off to the hills. I felt very, very sorry for him. Bless him. rang the police, they actually had heard of FarScape, because I said, I've just been robbed. I rang the production office and said, I'm really sorry, the script's gone, it's gone. And they said, what are you talking about? And I said, I've just been, robbed while I was in the car at the lights, I'm so sorry. And they were like, it's okay, calm down. I said, oh my God, Andrew and Brian and everyone are going to kill me. I was so worried about it for like a 3-year-old who'd sort of done something very naughty. And when I rang the police and made the report, she said, what's been stolen? I said, a bag with some scripts in it. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, oh, I'm an actor and I'm working on a show, and it's the script for the miniseries was in my bag. And she said, okay, well, what's the show? And I said, it's FarScape. And she said, oh, Miss Black, we better make sure that nobody finds it and put spoilers on the internet.
The last laugh is on the thief, because if he tried to read the red script, he's blind somewhere. And he never got past the first page.
This question was directed at Ben Browder. What was your favorite thing on FarScape?
Hope. It's my favorite word from the series, hope.
And leather pants.
Hope and leather.
Ben in leather pants is the best thing about my character, definitely.
We tried to shrink those pants for you, but it didn't work.
They do that, Sometimes if an actress ticks off a wardrobe department badly enough, they will deliberately shrink your costume overnight so that you think you've got really fat. That's like one of the oldest tricks in the book. It's fantastic. Those features, heavily in the miniseries, the detail of her costume, the platforms, I don't know if you realise, but she was wearing platforms that's not an exaggeration, is it? They're about, 10 inches? I don't know, boys always lie, so I don't know.
I'd be around 18 inches.
No wonder I can never park my car.
But that's 10 inches as well.
The fact that Francesca, I had to do, on Stargate, I was wearing this sort of neoprene catsuit and everyone, and all this other stuff, and everyone from wardrobe was so apologetic because it was very hot and whatever, and they actually...
Neoprene catsuit? Okay.
Yeah, dream on, white boy. And everyone was very apologetic, and I said, you should see what these guys have to go through. And I was thinking about Fran specifically, and I told her about it. What she had to do with full contacts, full makeup, leather and latex.
10 inches heels.
10-inch heels, never missed a mark, never missed a line. I mean, these people were extraordinary, and we didn't have the time. If we had to, we'd go for another take. But the fact that the performances of all these people in the creature, makeups and costumes, is as good as they are, is testament to what they are like as performers, because on FarScape you don't want to be doing a second take if you can avoid it. Without climate control, I mean, we had these big ducts that we brought in to sort of feed cold air, and so you'd see all these half-dressed Scarons with boxer shorts and all their top up, trying to cool themselves down. They had cooling suits, like the astronaut suits, sort of pipes that went round underneath their costumes to run cold water through them, which is great for you to do it all the time.
Ben, fix your hair.
Yeah, thank you. That's better.
Okay,
I've seen people do that on set. I just thought I'd copy it.
I would like to know what the exact definition of the word Threll is.
This is the man that created it right here.
Consider it in context.
Let's just say that it's a word that starts with F, ends in UCK, and it's not fire truck.
Seriously? I'd just like to say that you said you're not a fan?
I don't consider myself a fan of anything.
I'm up here and I have my opinion. You watch the show, you met Virginia, you're in a room with 3,000 people. You're standing at a microphone, you know the characters, you've analyzed the parts, you're a fan.
Wait a minute. Are you actually on a first date? You're trying to look cool, aren't you? I'm not not a fan, but I saw that there were some people in a room and there was a microphone, and I've got a great low voice, and I thought...
I have a different definition of fanaticism.
Yeah.
And what I do is I appreciate your show and I love it without being overly crazy about it.
Do you want to give me some notes on some things
I have to tell you then, you want to move a little back away from the people in the front here. You'd be safer 3 or 4 rows back.
No, it's because I don't see you as movie stars or TV personalities, because I know people in real life that act exactly like every character on your show. So I'm familiar with you.
All right, look, I'm with this guy. I'm with this guy.
Me too.
I take your point about the use of the word fan, but David can disagree if he wants to.
But I am a star.